And joining us now for more on this, CBS News senior White House correspondent Weija Jiang. So, Weija, President Biden released a statement earlier in which he says that he has added more jobs in 2.5 years than any president has ever created in a 4-year term. To what extent is his administration really responsible for this?
So, Elaine, it's great to be with you, and Michael as well. Of course, Republicans would be really quick to point out that you have to look at when President Biden took office. This was in the middle of the pandemic, and he was also here when the U.S. recovered from that and bounced back. And so they are saying that this is not a Biden administration victory at all. This is simply the U.S. And its workers coming back after a historic pandemic. And so many of those jobs, they say, were part of the U.S. recovery, not necessarily part of any creating new jobs. But the Biden administration, of course, would push back and say that this is all part of their overall plan to really put an emphasis on more manufacturing, on infrastructure, on all of these policies and projects that they admit will take time to be implemented and to have a real effect on Americans. And so even though this growth was not as large as they would have liked, I think they continue to remind us, at least, that there are lots of things in place, and it's going to take patience and time in order for those projects to break, in order for shovels to be in the ground, for all the billions of dollars that they have secured for these projects. But it's just that the jobs aren't there yet. But they are hoping that the American public will give them some more time to see it through.
Weija, we also know that the president is announcing a plan today that expands his administration's crackdown on so-called junk fees into the healthcare sector. What details do we know about that?
So this is part of his broader plan to eliminate as many junk fees as possible. The president, talks about this often, whether it's on your cable bill, your cell phone bill, in this case, in your insurance bill. So there are a couple measures here, but the one regulation that actually has some teeth is changing the length of time where an individual can purchase what's called short-term insurance. And so, back in 2016, when Obamacare was rolled out, you could purchase short-term insurance as an alternative if you only need it for a short amount of time. Then when the Trump administration came in, they allowed that to be extended up to 12 months, and then you could renew that again for 3 years. And so Democrats say that that was simply a slap in the face to Obamacare, and that in the end, it actually costs people a lot more, because when you have short-term insurance, there are a lot of things that don't come along with that. So they today will announce this new regulation to revert back to the limit being 3 months, they say, to protect consumers, to make sure that if they do in fact need that long-term care, they are getting the best price for it.
All right. On the foreign policy front, Weija, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is in Beijing today, where earlier she accused China of taking quote, punitive actions against the U.S. So what drove these latest comments?
Well, these were specifically in regard to mineral export controls, sanctions on certain goods from China. And of course, this is not new. The tensions around the economies between these two superpowers is ongoing. And the administration has been very clear that they will point out any of what they call unfair trade practices that hurt U.S. companies and therefore American workers. At the same time, she has to walk a really delicate line, because her visit is part of a bigger push to really stabilize relations with China. Secretary of State Antony Blinken recently went. The Commerce Secretary, Gina Raimondo, is expected to go this year as well, all leading up to a potential Biden-Xi Jinping summit. He, of course, is the president of China at a time when tensions are pretty high. I mean, you'll remember the U.S. shot down a Chinese balloon, a surveillance balloon. There's also a lot of questions about whether China is providing lethal aid to Russia in the war. And so this visit is, of course, to talk about trade and policies, but also to try to get things back on track, because this is such a critical relationship for the U.S. So it's not an easy walk, but that is exactly what the Treasury Secretary is trying to do in China.
I know you'll be keeping tabs on that for us. Weija Jiang at the White House, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome.